is Sci-Fi Snob, and this is the Toplofty Lounge. We're in for a smooth show for you today. Oh yeah, baby. In the 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, baby. Yeah, here we go. In 11, 10, 9. Oh yeah, baby. Here we come. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go.
Well, if Snob is talking, I'm not hearing him. I hope the audience is hearing me. I see my little icon flashing, so I think I'm being heard. Can someone confirm that, please? Okay, well, welcome to the Top Lofty Lounge, everyone. Since Snob has either. Oh, are you here? All right, should we try this again? I have no idea what's going on with Snob. I'm assuming that the audience can hear me at this point. So I will just welcome everyone in, and while whatever's happening on his side goes on,
Okay, can anyone hear me now?
Yes.
Now is it working?
I was getting some feedback echo from through your whatever your system is, I think. I don't hear it now though. So can you hear me?
I can hear everyone fine. Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right, let me try the intro once again for the third time. It's working out.
The intro played.
No, the intro, my intro words. All right, intro played. I don't know.
Oh, okay. Sure, whatever you want.
Something on voice meter switched itself for some reason. Anyway, welcome to the Top Lofty Lounge for the third try, episode 61. We're talking about the nerd wall, your nerd wall. Conversations for the elevated. Welcome, fellow snobs. Let's get started. Try again. Throwing them. I'm a little off my game for this. For you have a problem.
He's drunk.
Let's go. I haven't had nothing to drink today. All right, let's get back into it. But before we get going, he's been talking already. But let me introduce my co-host. He is the Settlers of Catan to my Twilight Imperium 4th edition. It's Cam. Say hello, Cam.
I'm just going to demand an apology right off the bat for associating me with Settlers of Catan in any way. I will. I
know. I hate that game. That's the worst game I can think of.
All right. So you decided to
maybe. What do you mean?
Okay, forget it. Good evening. Good evening, everyone.
I decided to settle. Did you not notice throughout all of my intros? I always do that. Are you telling me it's been 61 episodes and you finally realized that I was doing that to you?
What you mean, giving me the insulting end of things?
Yeah. You didn't notice that before?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I've seen a few of them, but I didn't take other ones as insults. I mean, I probably should have expected that. But
that was they were meant that way. Maybe I didn't do a good enough job. Jeez.
All right. Shut up, Death Angel Shadow. Catan sucks.
I hate that game. Oh, I just hate it. Yeah. Even though people love it, but I'm just like, oh.
Yeah, and well, MS says he loves it, so that's fine. If you
like it, it's great. But
why don't we say hello to everybody?
Yeah, let's talk to everyone in the chat. Since we're late and we had to do the intro like 3 times.
Well, you did.
It wasn't working. There's more people in than normal. That's great. It's working out. So who's in the chat? Gajira's in the chat. Death Angel Shadow, of course. Neutron is here. Welcome. Dave is here. Thanks for showing up, Dave. Good to see you. Who else? Outpost Nerd. Did I mention you already? Not yet. All right, good. Outpost nerd. Jeff N4 Pod. I think I know who that is. Someone's doubling up. I think. Yeah. Is that it? Did I miss anybody? I think I got everybody. I think that's it. Right on. All right. If I missed you, MS. I mentioned. Well, we mentioned him a little earlier. All right. Awesome. Right on. Dave's not here, man. Yeah, Dave's here. Sure he is.
Mm-hmm.
He's here. We have something special for tonight's after tonight's show, and of course, Cam hates this idea, but we're going to try it out anyway. We're going to have the Top Lefty Lounge is now going to have an after party. So right after the show's over, we're going to jump in. Cam and I will jump into the Discord, into the Discord general voice chat for a bit. If anybody else wants to jump in and you want to shoot the crap, you can do so. Why not? Let's have an after show to the show. Why not? Give it a try. See how it goes. All right. Before we get on to the show, though, Cam, so what have you done this week to increase your snob quotient?
Well, I did exactly. I decided that I would base that effort on the pay that I get. So there's your answer.
The pay for the show, you mean?
Yeah.
So are you telling me that the worship from dozens of fans is nothing?
You don't. No, they're not asking me for this though. They seem to be. I mean, I haven't gotten any complaints. I assume that they're satisfied with what I'm bringing to the table here. So, hey, James, welcome.
What about the worship for the legions of fans? I mean, come on, that's got to be worth something.
I don't see.
So you're saying you did nothing?
Pretty much, yeah.
Pretty much. Okay.
Well, I did a lot of things this week, actually.
But was it? How was it science fiction snobbishly related? That's the important. Right.
Yeah.
Other stuff is not important.
Yeah, pretty light.
Work and jobs and all.
Well, again, other than the whole other show we do. Hey, everyone, check out Wednesday nights the Babylon 5 retrospective show, 11 p.m. Eastern, same channel.
Okay, stop changing the subject. All right.
It's called.
Okay. Well, I mean, I didn't do much this week. I will say that I went to the used bookstore. There's a used bookstore in Edmonton that I go to. And they've got tons of science fiction soft covers. Best one in the city, sort of. I haven't found anything better. I don't know where they get them all because I go back. I've been going there for years, and they always seem to replenish their stuff. The thing is about them is that they have older copies of the books. So, for example, they have them they're like printed in the 80s and stuff, and they always they price stuff based on its original price, right? So the older the book is, the less you pay for it, and which is great because I like the old covers because most of the new covers suck. So I usually go there and I always find a bunch of farmers books, Philip Jose farmers books, and he has he's got all the I like what's his name, Frank Frazetta. So he did a bunch of paintings for the covers. They're really good, and I always try to buy them up. And it's like $3 a book or something like that. I'm like, wow, this is great. Yeah. So I went there this week again. I got a couple of books. I got 2 of Saberhagen's book. You know of Fred Saberhagen, Cam, right?
No.
He does the Berserk. He does other stuff, but he's best known probably for the Berserker series. And the Berserkers are basically giant. They're like Terminators. They're giant machines that that roam the galaxy and destroy. They're usually like big machines, like planetoid size, and destroy worlds and stuff. And humanity has to fight them and all that stuff. Anyway, so I picked up 2 of his. I've got one of his other books. I got the Berserker Wars and Berserker Planet. So I'm going to try that. And I also got a book called The Playmasters by John Dalmas. And I've been talking in the Discord to someone about Dalmas. And he went and he got his books and he said he read at least part of the first one and he enjoyed it. So, I think I go, I think that, maybe Snob knows a little bit of something about something.
Yeah. Snob goes to buy farmer's books so he can learn to go corn. No. Philip Jose Farmer. He's famous author, did 2 excellent series, the Riverworld series and the World of Tears. Yeah, MS is the one who bought the John Dalmas books, and he says he likes them. So take that, everyone. My advice is good. Yeah. Yeah. What else did I do this week, Cam? You know what? I was watching. This isn't science fiction related, but I watched both the first seasons of the Tulsa King and Mr. In Between, and they're pretty good. I would recommend them if you like those kind of shows. Yeah. I thought Tulsa King was pretty good. It was just a little bit. Sometimes the characters a little bit unrealistic when they're switching allegiances and stuff a little quick. But yeah. It was still good enough. Yeah. What Riverworld? I saw the miniseries but never read the books. Well, you are severely missing out, Outpost Nerd. There are a ton of books. Well, a bunch of 5 or 6 books, main books, plus a bunch of short stories based on the Riverworld. And the miniseries did not do the books justice. So I would recommend to everyone go read the Riverworld books. Yeah, I would say the first 4 books are excellent. And remember that the 3rd and 4th books were supposed to be one book, and they cut it because it was too big. And then the 5th book is it's all right, but it's a little bit. It ends the series off, but yeah, they're good. And like I said, there's a bunch of short stories. There's one that revolves around Jesus. Where is Jesus following around the Riverworld and trying to find him and stuff. Yeah, a bunch of ones. Excellent. I've got if you look on the channel, I've got a discussion about them from years ago. We discussed the first 3 books. We never got to the 4th book. We got still working. Still plan to do it maybe someday. Yeah. Okay, so I think that's about it. That's what I did, Cam. Yeah.
I made someone cry at a game table.
You did? What game is this?
I've been. Did I mention? I don't know if I don't remember if I did, or that I've been delving into Legend of the 5 Rings, like the original game.
Yes, you mentioned it.
I have a very small.
I didn't know that you were. Yeah, I thought you were picking over your stuff, and you weren't.
Well, no, I've actually started playing.
Oh, really? Is there a group near your?
Yes, a very small group. But
very, very small.
Yes.
It wasn't Settlers of Catan, was it?
No. Much better game. But I didn't intend to do this, and I felt real bad about it. But
why did they cry?
I am.
Are you playing against 6-year-olds again?
Maybe, but I didn't mean for anyone to be upset at anything, and it must be because I'm a poor teacher of things.
You taught them and they didn't learn very well.
Yeah. But hey, well,
so they lost and they were upset about
it. Something like that. Although I've lost more than I've lost more than I've won in this little run here. But that reminds me of a very quick one of the best gaming experiences I ever had was at a game store. This is back in the 90s, where we were playing a game called Wildstorms, which is based on the Wildstorms comic, like Jim Lee's comic company. There's a really cool game based on that, and there was this this whole league that we were doing the store. It was like a huge game at this store, and there were adults. I was an adult, but there were also some kids, down to like 12 years old, maybe, not like little kids. And we had the person who was running the store was running this whole thing, and the first event of this thing, it was a free for all, and apparently, several of the children were reported to have been in tears after this, not caused by me, but because their parents were like, what the heck is going on, with this whole thing. But it was pretty funny. I mean, no one was actually harmed or anything. It was just the emotion of the stress of the event was too much for him, I think.
The stress, wow, that's
yeah. Goji, you're right. I was schooling. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, that's really not on topic. Well, it is kind of because it does relate to nerd stuff. So I will maybe talk about that later. But do you want to get to the the very short tool segment?
We have a tool segment. Yes, everyone. Be aware we have a tool segment. Let's. All right. Sorry. Let's go. Tool time. Tool time. It's Cam's tool time. Yeah. Go ahead, Cam.
All right. Well, do you want to bring up the?
We'll fix that later. We'll do it like a video up.
Okay. Just to briefly, as Snob bring up the link, Victorinox, as you longtime listeners will recall, I'm a huge fan of Swiss Army knives, and there have been some complaints, in recent years that they're really not innovating much. They're not bringing out new products and things. And there's one YouTube channel called John Gadget. He's an English guy, British guy that had a segment on this. He kind of ripped into him, and they Victorinox company invited him to come out and discuss various things. And he revealed that they were coming out with new things, and lo and behold, they've started to hit them. Now, I'm told that this is just the beginning of some new models that are coming out, but I thought I'd point them out in the event that they fit someone's model. So what we're showing here on screen, this is one of them. There's essentially 3 new models coming out, but they I don't know, maybe a year or 2 ago, they came out with a model called a Companion, which included a new tool, which if you're familiar with Swiss Army knives, there's an opener layer, it's called, where you've got the bottle opener and a flathead screwdriver, and then the other side is a can opener, like for opening tin cans, like food cans, with a 3mm screwdriver. And so this new bottle has replaced the can opener, which a lot of people say I don't really have a need of that, with a new tool, which we'll get to in a second. But that's what the Companion model is as a basis. Although this one called the Companion X doesn't have that on it. In any case, the thing that they were talking about, or at least the rumor was, that they were going to be knifeless models. Swiss Army knife without a knife sounds strange, but with all the airline stuff and things, there is demand for this.
I think there would be, like, it sounds lame, but with all the people like, oh my, it's a knife,
right? Or
be able to walk around with those knives and nobody would care. It's less than 5 inches or whatever, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's a slip joint knife. There's no lock on it, and it's not a weapon. But people get crazy about stuff. In any case, this item is a 1-layer A-LOX, and that means that the scales are aluminum, as opposed to the plastic scales that many people will be familiar with. And literally all this has is scissors. It's just one tool, no backside tools, no nothing. But many people, and I'm like, this doesn't really fit my use needs. But the Victorinox scissors are excellent. A lot of people love them. I'd argue it might be one of the most used tools on any Swiss Army knife. So if and there's really been no good way to carry just the scissors. They have like the weird ones that are in the cards and stuff, but those are super tiny. This is the full size scissor, so 93mm model. And so if you have need of simple cutting tasks, for that scissors will do. This is an excellent choice. Pretty pricey, $32 for one tool, but it might work for some people. And it comes in 3 colors. The classic red and silver is really the A-LOX standard, I think, and then it's got kind of a gold color you can kind of see there on the bottom.
Click through. Let me this silver and then the gold. There we go. Pretty.
Yep. Do you want to go to the other link real quick?
The next one. All right. Yes.
So the next one I find more interesting. I love the A-LOX models. They're really cool. But the problem is they don't have backside tools, and they don't have the tools in the scales, like the tweezers or the toothpick, or another one has like a pin and a pen in it also. So it's pretty limited. But this one has the 3 tools, and this is the companion layer, I guess you could call it, with the actually, can you go back to the first image? Yeah. So you can see the flathead screwdriver and bottle opener on the lower left, and then the upper right, that's the new tool. So what they've got there, it's basically they call it a box opener. So it has a slight edge that you could cut tape with and things, and then it has the little serrated section there that you could get into and actually cut some cardboard if need be. And then it has a flathead. It's a little hard to see, but it has the 3mm flathead screwdriver on the top, which is sized for a number 2 Phillips also. So in a pinch, it's that. And the same with the can opener version also had that. But this is a 2-layer one. And then as you see, it has the scissors also. And now you're taking your life in your hands if you're trusting the TSA to not take your compliant knife or compliant tool, which this is. This does pass TSA regulations to my knowledge. But I think the companies are reticent to say that because it's really all up to whatever their whim is. If they want to take your thing, they're going to take it. And you basically have very few options. You're trying to catch a plane or whatever. But I think this would be good for schools and places that, get finicky about that kind of thing. Or I know some government buildings, you can't carry, blades and such, but who knows, getting through security and all that might still cause a problem, but it does give you some options. And then of course you have places, that aren't in the United States or moronic places in New York where they claim that you have a switchblade. If you have something that's literally not a switchblade, they would find this would be pretty hard to, justify claiming it's a, some sort of weapon. But I just thought I'd mention it because it's interesting. I am going to be getting one of these to check out at least. Again, I probably won't be carrying it because I have, other more fully featured ones I want. But I just wanted to point that out to our anyone out there who loves these as well and is looking for some tool options.
All right. Right on.
All right, that's it for now. I do have another tool on order that I expect to get maybe this coming week, but maybe the week after. So I will be talking about that if anyone's interested. A new plier, just as a sneak peek.
Oh, sneak peek and new pliers. All right. Well, we'll look for that in a future show next week, maybe the week after. Tool time segment coming up. Yeah. Okay. Should we get into the main part of the show?
Yeah, we're already a half hour in.
And just so everyone knows, I sent out some invites on the Discord there. Outpost Nerd, we want to bring you in to talk about your stuff. You're coming up. You're second on the list. So if you want to come in and talk about your stuff,
so
when we get to you.
Why don't you, for the people that haven't been previewed about this, why don't you tell us what this is really all about? The nerd wall, which I typically would have called this the shelf of shame.
Yes, we call it. We just wanted to go out to the viewers and ourselves, and this is a pretty relaxed show. This one, we're not trying to teach you anything so much here. People can come out and they can talk about all their nerd stuff. So Cam's going to go first. We call it the nerd wall, the wall or shelf of shame. That's mostly referring to board gamers, and because board gamers tend to buy all kinds of stuff, and they don't. They go, wow, that looks really cool, and they go and they buy it, and then they never get a chance to play it because it's too complicated, or they don't get out enough, or all kinds of stuff.
Just not enough time in the day.
Yeah, not enough time. So there's all kinds of these stuff, and they don't ever play it. So it's kind of embarrassing. It's a wall of shame. Here's all the games that I bought that are really cool and I really wanted, but I've never played them. I just look at them and pet them and go, nice game. Oh, you're so pretty. Well, we let everyone know. I don't know if we want to look at the Catan stuff, but you can do it as well. All right. So Cam is first on deck. I've taken everybody who sent me stuff, and I've put together a little slideshow, and we're just gonna go through them and talk about them. All right, Cam, you're first. All right. So what are these, Cam? These are some of your bookshelves.
Yeah, I actually did some reorganization of my gaming shelves. I had some plastic, kind of cheap shelves, and I obtained these. There's actually 3 of them. So you're only showing 2 here, but
yeah, I got those will be on the next slide.
Okay, these are my main gaming shelves of the games these are more of my keepers and games I played more of actually, but and not shown in any of these slides are my real shame, my piles of shame that games that don't even make it on the shelf. But if we I guess you're free to.
You were supposed to put those in.
I only got so much time to spend on this. But the lower shelves tend to be where games are that don't get much play. So I'd say there's probably a good 20 to 30% of the games on here that I have played not at all, or maybe once. Again, on the bottom there's it's hard to see, but
tell us the shameful ones.
Okay, we've got a game called Dice Forge, which is on the picture on the left. We've got Summoner Wars Alliances, which I barely scratched the surface of. On the right bottom shelf, we got Space Cadets, like 3 games for Space Cadets, I think. We've got a Robotech game I've never touched. There's quite a few sci-fi ones there that I've not.
Shameful.
Yeah, I know, not delved into. The ones on the upper shelves I've done more. Oh, well, here's a great one on the upper right. On the top there is Eclipse, the big kind of bluish box on top. That's an awesome game. That's 2nd edition of it.
2nd edition. Oh, I'm jealous.
Yeah. But I've not been able to play it much. It was probably the top game for me and one of my gaming friends. We played he had the 1st edition one. We played the hell out of that game. And then we got the 2nd one. And yeah, but you see some Ticket to Ride up there. Actually, the Ticket to Ride, the Conquering the West, I forget what the name of it is, but the Legacy game, which is right under Eclipse, I actually played that one all the way through. So that was a big accomplishment. But I don't want to bore everyone with just my stuff. You can go on to the next slide.
We got to stretch the show out.
Oh, okay. Well, I could.
Take your time.
We could wheel back to this if need be. Yeah.
All right. There's the other slide you sent me.
Yeah. Let's see.
Does that help? It's not as big as I would like it to be.
Yeah. Well, bet you heard that before. Yeah. This one is pretty shameful. The bottom.
No, I have not. What are you talking about?
Oh, okay. The bottom. Let's see, the bottom shelf here. We've got, Destiny Aurora. That's a game I never played. There's
below the belt.
Hey, let's stay on topic. Basically the entire bottom shelf of this one is unplayed, except for what the heck is that game?
What's the bottom one? Destiny, the biggest one.
Yeah, Destiny Aurora. That's a miniatures game. It's like a wait. I got that at the last Gen Con I went to. I think it's I'm a soft touch for for games, especially if I talk to the designers and I hear that they've really put their heart and soul into a game, and then I end up buying it when I probably shouldn't. But that's one. It's like a Starship Away Team kind of game. I think there's
for everyone. That's how I got Cam to get on the show.
Right. Yes, that's painfully true. Actually, a lot of this shelf is very shameful for me. There's a lot of I've played some of them, but I've not played them much. You could see the Heroes of Normandy there on the middle shelf. That's that was kind of a cool game, but it's just one of these things. It's like I don't have I can't devote my life to every single game. And that's what some of them tend to be, is requiring, a lot of time, just because there's so much content they put out for them. And this shelf is kind of in flux. It's not. I need to get rid of a lot of games. MS is asking, where's Monopoly? I have a whole different section with a variety of Monopoly games. And then this also doesn't, there's none of my Axis and Allies stuff on here. None of my Thunderstone. Let's see. There's all kinds of other games. This is maybe half of my games, and this is not counting, Star Wars Destiny or any CCGs. And as I mentioned, Legend of the Five Rings is one I'm getting back into. No Magic the Gathering stuff on any of these shelves. These are mostly board games. And again, even in terms of strictly board games, this is maybe 75% of what I've got at this point. I've been giving a lot away, to be honest with you.
And so that's the real reason we're doing the show. I'm trying to look over Cam's stuff, and I'm going to try to twist his arm and send it to me.
Well, I've got a lot of sci-fi stuff on there. If I can find a good home for it, you can have it.
All right, next slide. I think this is a good one for you. You like this one, right?
Oh, this one pisses me off a little bit, actually, because this is, again, a very partial bit of my X-Wing miniatures game collection. The real shameful part of it is the bottom shelf there. You can see those are all pretty much unopened boxes of stuff that I never even got out of the box. But then you see like some of the large size ships there, and the Ghost you can see on the second one. But you got the Tantive 4 and some of the larger ones. Those are real fun to play with. This game is gone now. It's a dead game because Asmodee are apparently morons, and they've taken major IPs like Star Wars, X-Wing, hugely successful game, and handed it over to some clowns in some pathetic studio that have no idea what they're doing, and they just totally S-canned this game. But I can't blame them for my my flaws with all this. Is I should have been smart enough to never switch from first edition to second edition of this game. That's Fantasy Flight is famous for doing that. You mentioned Twilight Imperium 4th edition, for example. They love doing that and dumping a ton of product and then abandoning it. It's just their pattern. But the good news is,
I think Twilight Imperium 4 was desired by the community, wasn't it? They had
maybe
2 expansions out for 3, and there were some problems, and they wanted to streamline some things and make it a little, fix some rule changes. No?
Well, maybe.
That's right. I heard 4 is better than 3. It's much smoother to play. I've only played 3, and that was some time ago.
Yeah, I'm not sure you could say the same for X-Wing. I think maybe it got worse.
Well, maybe I'm
but it not shown just to the left of this shelf. There is a shelf of role-playing books, a partial collection, and on top of that is my Arkham games, basically, which, for example, Arkham Horror 3rd edition. So, I fall prey to that nonsense as well. But not so much anymore. My gaming collection has not grown much in the last 4 years or so. I've really, really severely slowed down because I haven't had a chance to play much of anything. So, incidentally, just as a side note, Gen Con was this past weekend.
Was it? Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So
it's ended today.
Yeah.
It's usually the first weekend in August.
Yeah, I did not attend, but a friend of mine did go down there, and he was. I think I mentioned way back we talked about his game. He has a sci-fi miniatures game, and there's something I guess I shouldn't. Well, no one here is going to know. So I just did a play test of a new game that he's working on just a week ago. So that was sci-fi. Okay, that counts, I guess.
Yeah, you should have thought of that before.
Yeah, it is a sci-fi game.
Damn.
And it's good. It's really I really like this new one.
And is there anything to be told about it?
Well, it's a sequel of sorts to the first game. Maybe we can have him on at some point to talk about his game, because I
think we should. It's a science fiction game, and we want to, local whatever and all that stuff. I think we should have him on the show.
Mm-hmm.
Be good. Yeah. You got some pictures and stuff. Show us where he's at. Talk about it. That would be good.
Yeah. Let me see if I can get something together.
Okay. All right. We're good. You want to move on? Is any questions from the chat on Cam's Nerd Wall?
James mentions no Battleship. I actually don't have the classic Battleship. I do have a copy. It's actually not mine. It's a friend of mine. Battleship Galaxies, it was called, which was a space themed Battleship game. Yeah, but it wasn't just battle. It was like a tactical board game kind of thing. But it used the classic hits and stuff on the ships.
Right on.
Yeah, I don't play. I'm sorry, just a final note there. I don't play many traditional board games at this point. It's like the thing we're talking about with Catan. Catan is kind of like the first step into what might be called designer board games, and then it goes from there. I got nothing against those games, but many of them don't hold much appeal. I guess Axis Nowadays is the only one that would have been a mass market game that I play still.
Yeah, Catan is sort of well known as the gateway drug of modern board games, right?
Yep.
I kind of divide board games up sort of like before 2000 and after 2000, because around 2000 there was a huge explosion in board games where they suddenly became much more popular, and the Euros invaded, and instead of when we were kids growing up, it was all Battleship and Clue and Monopoly and Masterpiece and Trouble, Sorry, those kind of games, right?
Yep.
All these Milton Bradley ones. But then, and they were all sort of a certain, a certain type, a certain, very low complexity family style play. But then, in the 2000s with Catan and Ticket to Ride, those games, they came out and it was like much more complicated, more for adults. Not, just play it with a family. And so then the board game, world exploded. And there are, thousands and so many thousands and thousands of games. On Board Game Geek's got thousands, I don't know.
Well, yeah, and just at Gen Con, literally hundreds of new games are debuted. At Gen Con, it's insane how many games there are.
Can't keep up.
No, not even.
Yeah.
All right, I'll shut up now.
Yes, Catan is a little too pedestrian. Actually, the reason I don't like Catan is I played my first game and I picked the wrong number. You're rolling 2 dice, right? So you should be smart enough to know that 7 is the most common number, right? So you should be going 6s and 8s and stuff. And then I didn't figure that out my first game and I got trounced. I'm like, this sucks. And I go and I looked it up and I go, of course. You're rolling 2 dice, these numbers. And then I played another game. Next game I played, I'm like, all right, got to remember 6 and 8. You keep closer to the middle. And then I lost that game terribly. Everyone rolled and they were rolling 3s and 4s and 11s and 12s. And I was just like, this is bullshit. Anyway, so that's why I don't want to do that. And anyway, the game is it's a little bit, it's a little bit simple. I think my kids played a game of it recently, though. With their friends and stuff. So, I mean, I do have a copy. Yeah.
I do not. I actually don't own one.
Yeah. So, yeah. Okay. All right. Let's move along. Who's next? Outpost Nerd is next. Let's bring him on the show. Outpost Nerd, welcome. Can you hear us?
What's up, guys? Can you hear me?
All right.
Yep.
We're going to go through the stuff you sent me, and you can explain it. You sent me some notes, and I was like, I think I put the things in the wrong order or whatever.
That's fine.
But so I figure, you know what? I'm kind of lazy. I'll just bring you on and let you explain it, and I don't have to figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the smart. Yeah. Oh, we got. Yeah. Pull that knife out of the back. That's right. Right on. Check out the speakeasy after the show. Yeah. Right on. Okay. Let me go. First slide. All right. This is Outpost Nerd is a bit of a Lego nerd, not so much board games.
Yeah,
but,
Lego collections. This is
what you're showing us.
What I sent you is probably maybe 3/4 of my collection. I just didn't have enough room to show everything. Yeah. This is back in the day. Ever since I was little, I collected Legos. Christmas, birthday, I would get Lego sets. My dad and I, a thing we would do is Christmas afternoon, we were sitting on the floor putting the Lego sets together. But with me, they would last maybe a week and then I'd take them apart and build something new. But one I had was the original Jedi Starfighter. This is for me, I like the prequel movies. Attack of the Clones was one of my favorites because my dad is more of a outdoors kind of rough and tumble guy. Growing up, there wasn't many things that connected us, but I remember vividly him taking me to see the Star Wars movies. Like when they did Return of the Jedi remastered and they put it out in the theaters back in the 90s, he took me. he took me to see Attack of the Clones, and I remember the scene where Obi-Wan's chasing Jango and Boba through the asteroid field in his Jedi Starfighter. A thing about this Starfighter, this Lego set, it is the only Lego Star set to have a Kamino figure, the figure in the middle, the alien in the middle.
Right.
It's the only one way you can get it is find this one, and it has the core. Cause it's a newer one because it has the decals and the little stud shooters, which I really like compared to those flicking ones you had to have back in like early 2000s. But okay, next slide, if you don't mind.
All right.
Now here's another Lego set I have. It's my favorite James Bond movie is Goldfinger. I absolutely love it. The best thing Bond ever got, gadget wise or car wise, was his Aston Martin DB5 from that movie.
In that movie, yeah, that is good. That's a good movie.
With the ejection seat and
bullet shield and
yes,
well,
it's what became the staple for James Bond cars for like 30 years. Yeah. So I saw this on the shelves of my local a nearby Dollar General, and I had to grab it. It's not the gold member car. It's the Skyfall version. That's Daniel Craig figurine, not Sean Connery, though.
Yeah. They would not have made a
no
that back then. Yes, and the Craig version was it was a remake. Like they basically remade the car.
Yeah. Basically, it's Bond's personal car instead of a car given to him in the movie. It's his personal car instead of one given by MI6, because he's got to he's got to go on the run with M. Great movie, Skyfall. You learn more, I think, about Bond as the character, his background more so in that entire movie, that one movie, than the entire series.
All right, next.
Yep. And here's
a big one.
Now, if you look here on the bottom, I have the White Ranger's sword. I have these two blasters. I was volunteering one summer at my local Salvation Army, and I'm going through this just bin of stuff, and this kid had 20, 30-year-old toys, and that's the Power Axe, the Black Ranger Power Axe. And up in the middle is the part of one of the Blue Ranger's weapons, and that is down on the bottom middle is the First Order Stormtrooper blaster. All that was found in one box, and I grabbed them all. Plus, I had the Red Ranger's Power Sword somewhere, and one of the original Mighty Morphin Power Ranger Dino blasters I couldn't find, but I just found this evening. So I have like half the Power Rangers weapons. That if I could get all of them, the Yellow Ranger weapons and the Pink Ranger's weapons, you can turn them into that big power blaster. They actually connect. So next one, I think I have a few more close-ups. See that there again? It's the Aston Martin. One thing I didn't do here. This was the first Lego build I did that came with decals. So I really didn't do the decals on the Aston Martin. One thing I liked about it is the wheels. You actually had the hubcaps that you could have put on. Okay, next one. One thing.
Go ahead. Did I just see this one?
No, this is a little different. Okay. One thing here. Last year, I've worked in education for about 3 years now, and last year I worked with an English teacher, 8th grade English teacher. The semester reading was The Hobbit. She loved The Hobbit. She's obsessed with Tolkien, so she decorated her classroom. She had cardboard cutouts of Gandalf, Frodo's, Gollum. She had Thorin's map hanging on the wall, and outside the door when you came in, it had that sign of Bilbo's "No admittance except on party business" sign that he hangs up in the Fellowship of the Rings that he hangs up outside the outside Bag Inn, and she actually let me have it at the end of the year. And
Right
I think I sent you a few more.
Keep going.
Okay, yeah. Go
He's
on.
in his car.
Yeah. If you notice, they actually put him on the correct British side.
Yeah, they
the wrong side. This is one thing that I always wanted. It's my Elemental Edge lightsaber. I actually took it off the handle or the blade. It came. This one I got 2 years from May the 4th, and originally I think it was $250. I got it for $125, so less than half because it was May the 4th, and it's made of high-end like heavy steel. It's got some heft to it. Like I could use that to beat someone in the head with if I needed to.
Yeah.
I shopped around for a good couple of weeks before leading up to it, and I found some that cost twice as much as this, but did not come without any soundboards nor lights. That was just basically the handle for like $200. This one, it has motion sensor, so when you swish it, it actually makes the won't sound. You could pick any color. You can choose how it ignites. It has different options for ignites, and all it is you plug it into your little USB charger, and it's great. It's really high in material. I can't remember. I gotta find the website. But yeah, I think did I send you any more?
I think that might be the is that it?
Okay, if you could go back to one of the big ones.
Nope. Gojira's next.
Yeah, if you could go back to one of the big ones, I got some more things I want to.
This one?
Yeah. See, if you look right behind the nerd, there's two things I really like. That's my Jane Cobb hat from Firefly.
Yeah.
The one he gets from his mom in the mail.
Don't tell Cam that. He doesn't like that. He doesn't like Firefly.
Yeah. Cam's AI. We all know that. Cam's AI.
That's right.
But funny story is I was in a Facebook group, a fan group, and a group of us were talking, and I said, "Oh, I would love to have a Jane hat." And this random woman, she's like, what's your address?" I said, "Why?" She's like, "I'll make you one." She knitted me that out of it's wool, so it's really hot. And I've worn it to a couple conventions, and I get so many comments from people. And if you look, I have the Ghostbusters pillow, the No Ghost pillow, and in the top right corner is the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man popcorn bucket I got when I went and saw Frozen Empire. So, and those figures, I don't know if you remember in the I'm going to say late 90s, early 2000s, Disney was making cartoons out of everything. It was Disney Channel had great cartoons. They did one, the Mighty Ducks. They were superhero duck aliens. And I love that cartoon. It's great. They're stand-ins for the Anaheim Ducks in the show.
Are they?
They play hockey. Like their entire society revolves around hockey. Like they're superheroes. They have instead of shooting bullets, they shoot pucks, like exploding pucks out of guns and stuff. It was just crazy. And finally, that box set is the entire series, both movie and TV series of the Highlanders series. All the movies, all the TV show.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and the
TV show was quite good, I thought.
I loved it. I especially loved the pilot that had Connor and Duncan. Christopher Lambert came back for the pilot.
Yeah.
And he it really expanded. My best friend who I've known since second grade, so almost probably 30 years now. Jesus Christ. His mom loved the Highlander. And
that was a great TV show.
Yeah,
and Duncan MacLeod, the guy who played it, did a good job of.
He really expanded it. But when she passed away, he's like, "Hey, I got all this stuff here. Do you want anything?" And he let me have it. But I have not pictured here. I have a U-wing Lego set still in the box. The U-wing is the only, in my opinion, good Star Wars ship that they've made in the Disney era, and a bunch of D&D books that I didn't put in because I also have a couple of books up here. But yeah, it's pretty much my nerd wall.
All right. Okay, thanks for coming on the show.
Right.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks.
All right, bye.
Right.
Not shown in any of my stuff is my Lego or role playing or toys or anything else. I can only endure so much shame, or at least share so much shame.
All right. Okay, so let's me move on. So Gojira sent in us one slide of stuff. Gojira can't make it on, right? I think I sent you the link, but if you can't make it on, that's no problem. Yeah. So and Gojira.
Look at those 5th edition books. My God.
Mentioned that this is just really a small version. There are tons and tons more in digital. Is that correct, Gojira? If you wanna throw something in the
Gojira, you win for having shown D&D 5th edition books.
That's what you said. That's what you told me. You said that you had a bunch of. Let me just check here.
I got some Pathfinder books there.
There's a bunch
Gojira,
of.
Is that
all
Pathfinder?
the digital rule books, player guides, etc. You have tons and tons of digital stuff.
Is that first edition Pathfinder?
Yeah, of course. We're all proud, but that's why we can't do audio. That's no problem. If you want to do any type something in the chat. I have stuff for okay.
Anything
you put in
the shame
you put in the chat there, Gojira, I'll throw it up. So
the shame comes from not using the stuff that you your nerdy stuff that you like. It's not that you like nerdy stuff. It's you know.
The shame can come from both if you want to. I mean,
well, it's in terms of 5th edition, yes, that is shameful. But okay, yeah,
right.
Okay, cool.
Like 5th edition, I guess.
No, it's an abomination that should be burned and ejected from humanity.
Okay, and I will show the picture that Gojira just sent me. Let me just get it going here, and this is what we have. Is this a person? Is this what is this? Is this a giant 5 or 6 foot
it's a huggable,
or is that somebody?
It's a huggable Spidey.
Is that somebody dressed up? I'm assuming that's not a person. Is that the life size? Yeah.
Comic book store I go to has a life size Silver Surfer.
That's a life size Tony Maguire. Oh, Tobey Maguire, probably, right? Yeah. That's Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. I would guess. No, I mean Tony. Yeah. Yeah. Oh my. It's a lot of dusting. Yeah. Yeah, right on.
All right.
So that's Gojira's stuff.
Yeah, well, Gojira has been talking I haven't checked in recently on that, but Gojira was having some good discussions about role-playing stuff, and I forget, was it yours or Jason's Discord? One of the two. So I know Gojira's been delving into that recently and trying to get into it and run some games and stuff. So good on her.
Yeah. So much dusting the women's raised. Yeah. 2,000 of them, you won it. All right, on. Wow. I don't know what I would do with it if I were won that.
You hang them up on the wall, get them pasted up on the wall in your corner.
On the roof.
Yeah.
On the roof and just have them hanging down, looking
right
down
on.
at people when they come in. Yeah, probably on Jason's. Yeah, traitors.
All right. So how many other people sent it? We got more people.
Death Angel Shadow's next, and then then it's me.
Okay.
And then that's it. All right. So okay, let's okay, we want to put all right, let me just turn that off. Sorry, what is going on here? All right, there we go. Death Angel Shadow is up next, and he's waiting in the thing, but I don't see him. Oh, there he is. Okay, good. You're there.
Oh yeah,
you made it.
I'm always here.
Okay, here's your stuff. Tell us about it.
Oh, that's some of it.
Okay,
let's see. What do I have? And on that last shelf, well, first let's talk about the right shelf. You can see that's a bunch of junk, and that's eventually going to be a place for more stuff. I think I'm going to try and put minis and some of the stuff that currently I've got on the lower shelf, on the bottom shelves in here, and maybe put some backlighting in. I've got plans. Of course, these are all cheap particle board bookshelves. Got 2 of them for free. Bought a couple of the ones in the middle, which actually are nicer. But eventually, these have like those glass fronts. One of them is broken. Oh, listen to that. You hear my ham radio stuff going off. And one of the pegs that's supposed to stop that, because they have these little glass, you can see on each shelf there's like a little glass part that pulls out and then comes down. Well, one of them's broken, so I intend to fix that eventually. On the left top shelf, right in the middle, what looks like books, every one of those is a game, except for one, which is an empty box. I don't know if you can't zoom in, can you?
Not really, no.
Yeah. So I got on a Kickstarter for a game, and the games come in a what looks like an old school book, and then I wound up getting a whole bunch of I think it was I don't know if it was add-ons or whatnot. I'm like, oh, there's more. Let me get all these too. So, and while I'm at it, I'll get an extra empty box. So it was kind of cool. So they're faux books. And these are the ones that are right in the middle. You see the brown and the red and the blue books and all that right in the middle on that top shelf on the left. Of course, at the top, I've got my most recent acquisitions. I don't know if I'm shameful. I'm shameful for what I spent on them, but those are the popcorn buckets, if you want to call them. They don't look much like buckets to me, but one looks like the classic newspaper machine for the Daily Planet, and it's kind of neat. It's got like a reversible image, so you can change the headline. It's got crypto on one side and Superman on the other. It looks like I think Jason picked one of those up too. That ran like $30, and I thought, oh, okay, well, I'll go ahead and do that. That was the first time I saw Superman. Second time I saw Superman, they actually had this was at Regal Cinemas. They had the popcorn bucket, where you got Superman off to the right using his heat vision to make the popcorn. So it's kind of neat. That one cost $50. $50, but both of them came with a free large popcorn. So
it was all worth it.
So yeah, totally worth the because you got free popcorn, right? They were out of all the drink toppers. Let's see. To the left of those fake books is some stuff I got from DM Lair. Kind of he's nice. Luke's a nice guy. He's got he had the set that they came out with, and those, of course, are the special edition set. It's supposed to kind of help you to DM prep and stuff like that. And then to the right of those faux books is my Shadow Dark stuff, which I have yet to play. So that's my shame yet. I haven't had a chance. I'm still trying to find people. Let's see. Next shelf down below that top shelf on the left is going to be the majority of it is my Castles and Crusades stuff. So that's what I'm gearing up to dive hot and heavy into. And the two yellow books, one is Dragon Slayer, and the other one I believe is Barrowmaze, from Greg Gillespie. The Dragon Slayer is his take on, like the Beckme BX type edition of D&D. And then I've got a couple of stuff from Luke Gygax that you can see kind of leaning there against the right. Those are some individual modules that Luke Gygax, one of the sons of Gary Gygax, had done. And then, of course, you see the stuff on the third shelf, Cam, right? You know what all that is. Oh, Cam's being quiet now.
I'm having trouble seeing the 5th edition stuff. Yeah. Oh, it looks like you got some Forgotten Realms 3rd edition stuff there too.
Do have some 3rd edition stuff there. That's my my 5e stuff up to the point where I stopped buying 5e stuff. And the 3rd 3.5 edition and some Forgotten Realms stuff that I had managed to salvage. I literally had probably 3 times that amount of stuff in 3rd and 3.5 edition.
I'll tell you what, I despise Forgotten Realms. Yes, I have strong opinions, but the books for the 3rd edition, fantastic. I mean, just some of the best material ever put out.
Oh yeah, and the artwork for the maps, the cartographer. Well, he's an artist, but he does cartography. The guy that did that, man. Oh, I actually bought his digital version, the high res digital version of his Forgotten Realms map. I like Forgotten Realms. What I don't like about running Forgotten Realms is that when you get somebody who knows Forgotten Realms.
Well, yeah, that's the problem. It's someone else's game, essentially. I mean, it's
yeah. Ed Greenwood has a lot of. He's very creative, and he'll tell you Forgotten Realms is older than D&D because he started doing it when he was 6 years old. I believe that's what he says.
Yeah.
Which predates even the creation of Dungeons and Dragons or Blackmore or any of that stuff. That's what his world was. And he left lots of open places. The problem is that Wizards of the Coast and to some extent TSR, but mostly Wizards of the Coast, has greatly ignored anything other than the Sword Coast for years. And it's those other places where there's like lots of room to put your own stuff in.
It's probably a good thing because what they've done with it in recent years is an abomination.
Oh yeah. So that's mostly on that third shelf. The one right above the bottom, that's my
Goodman Games collection.
Yeah. Say what you will about Joe Goodman and his politics and stuff like that. I don't really care, but a lot of, especially the first few things, were classic TSR era stuff. Every one of them included a full reprint, at least one full reprint, if not 2 or 3 of the modules as published back in the day. And then they have a 5th edition conversion, and there's also like a little historical section about the stuff to begin at the very beginning of the book, because a lot of it is about history and stuff like that. They are great books. I don't know if you can still get all of them. I know WotC is diving back into Greyhawk, so they're going to ruin Greyhawk for everybody,
right? As well, and the D&D cartoon and everything else they get their stinking hands on.
Yeah. But to the right of that is some other stuff. Let me see. I've gotten additional stuff from Goodman Games, like Dungeon Denizens and stuff like that. I intend to take all that stuff and at some point use it in Castles and Crusades. That's my intent. That's why I just kept on buying it. And yeah, I did get on the Kickstarter for the controversial new one that everybody was making a big hullabaloo about. I went ahead and bit the bullet on that. That's the one that Persona non grata guy his father had created back in the 70s, credited as being really the first module that you could buy before TSR was producing modules. They didn't think that anybody would. Why do you need to buy a module? You just create your own game. that was Gary's logic at the time, and then it was like, oh crap, people are buying this stuff. so that is coming. Of course, I've got on the bottom shelf, I've got the red box that is from the Stranger Things. That was the one, that was the starter set, Stranger Things starter set. Which, interestingly enough, they have a new one. It's cute. I like starter things. It came with a creature with a mini, which is not what is the actual creature is in the game. It's what the creature was in the movie or in the Netflix show. So
Snob, I didn't see if you. Gojira was asking if you had an original red box, and I think that would probably be referring to the Beckme basic set.
That's the red box is the one that had the cover on it that they decided when they decided to come out with a mini.
Oh yeah, Larry Airball. It's like
they turned it into a woman
after 40 years. It's a woman,
and yet there's been stats released in that 40 years for that and minis. I think there was a mini of it that was released, and it was clearly not a female.
Yeah, stupid.
So, but in the middle, you can see I went ahead and bought the 50th anniversary. I'm like, I figured the book, that's got the whole history.
The whole the lies about the history.
But I mean, it does include a lot of the historical, like the handwritten notes and stuff like that are reproduced in it. And I figured at the very least,
I guess the commentary are the lies, I should say.
Right. It's the commentary, the original stuff that's in it, and then the black box, that's the red one. That's the red book. The black box actually includes an original reprint of a couple of things, as well as a bunch of posters. And that's the Art and Arcana thing.
Do you have the, it might have come out about 10 years ago now, the Art of Dungeons and Dragons?
That's the black one. That's the deluxe box.
Oh, okay. That's it. That is the same.
Yeah, there's a book inside of that. That's actually the black one is a box. The red one is a book.
Yeah.
The black one has a book inside of it and came with a whole bunch of other stuff.
Yeah, that book was actually pretty good and had a lot of historical stuff, although it was focused on the art, obviously.
Yeah, and it is the Art and Arcana of D&D, and it includes the book includes a lot of reprinted stuff too.
Yeah.
That you couldn't get for years, and that's gone missing. So
incidentally, I don't know if just a side note, you're talking about the original stuff. At the 50th anniversary of Gen Con, they had there's a football stadium right next to the convention center there, and they had like a whole display of actual letters and stuff like from going way back and everything. It was really pretty cool for D&D.
Yeah,
it was pretty neat.
Yeah, this is I'm working on organizing and making things on the top shelf in the middle. You see, those are actually DM screens from 3rd edition. And maybe a 5th edition thing. So those are some of DM screens I kind of set up for backdrops, and I've got minis in front of them, including one mini that just will not behave. I almost grabbed him. I forgot to grab him when I came back inside because he keeps on leaning. But of course I got a bunch of dice there, and you see if there's a little my little lamp there that basically I found it. It was supposed to be one of those, or it used to be one of those little solar cell operated lamps, that you could hang outside and well, yeah, the solar panels kind of quit on it and whatnot. I found it I think I paid like $2 for it. And I opened it up, cleaned it out, and got one of those little stranded, little thin wired stranded LED light things that does a couple of different things, and kind of twisted them up into like a little mess and threw them in there, and it looks kind of cool. It's an effect thing. And of course, I got ham radio stuff underneath that. Those are some ham radio books that you see underneath that, and a couple of novels and stuff like that. Down at the bottom, I did grab that one. I grabbed this, which I still have not break the cellophane on, or cellophane, which is the Monty Python book, or Holy Grail book game. This is my board game. Oh, you'll see it here. Let's see. Still in the original. I haven't cracked the seal on it yet. It did come with this. This was the big. Let's see if I can. This is one of the extra cards, Grail cards. So that came with it. So that was kind of neat. I do have a couple of classic modules that I managed to find. They're sitting in like one of those. There's a little plastic stand thing for takeaway sheets. You can see that in that middle section on the bottom right. I think that's B1. There's a couple of whenever I see modules that are bagged like that and they're a reasonable price, I'll grab them. I think I paid like $12 for it, so it's kind of cool. And there's a couple of them I picked up, but that's pretty much. Oh, the pictures there. Those are the canvas prints. The pictures on the wall are the canvas prints. One of them is the cover of the Castles and Crusades Reforged book, and the other one is the cover of the Gary Gygax's The Hermit. So those are kind of cool. And then, of course, garbage on the right. In the process of eventually.
Yep. All right. Well, you'll have to. Yeah, sure.
You ready for the next slide?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. This one's a little. I was like, what?
This is the real dirt. These are all unpainted minis. 2 boxes of unpainted, not opened yet minis.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that is shameful.
Yeah. When you say, yeah, and I have them right behind me. I mean, some of these are pretty good. This is a hook core. They're both. Some of them are the Nolzur's miniatures. Some of them are even painted. These are the ones. So when COVID hit, like right about a month after I moved up to Tennessee, and one of the channels that I had been following since before I moved up to Tennessee was Matty Morgs. Nice guy. He owned a shop. Yeah, there's more. Those are the ones that aren't in the box. Those are hanging on the wall because they had nails on that. There's nails on the wall that they're just hanging from. So I've got a set. I've got I got a lot of stuff to paint if I can just get organized to do it. I think that's the big thing. But Matty Morgs, he's a nice guy. He owned a comic and game shop up near Cleveland. Where's the Sandusky? Sandusky. I was trying to think where the theme park is up there. So he was in Sandusky, and he wound up having to close the shop itself. It just he couldn't afford it. Business, and whatnot was not sustainable. But what he was doing during COVID was in order to try and keep the revenue coming in, is he would do a lot of live streams on Twitch. And he would, you could buy, you could get in on these little things to when he had one of those like big machines, that has the little plastic ball things like we had when we were kids. You put a quarter or 50 cents in or whatever, and you turn the thing, and you get one, and you get a free prize, right? Well, what he had done is instead of putting minis or anything like that in them, he would actually put little slips of paper with particular item. And so you got like random chances for, whatever to get a random thing. And it was, you never knew what you're going to get. So I went into that, and that's how I got a lot of this stuff. If you see the little pink and yellow and blue sticky note tags hanging on them, they all say death on them. DETH.
So he's giving them away for free, type of thing. Like giving them.
Well, you would buy a chance. You would buy a chance. You were guaranteed to get something. You were guaranteed to get something. You just didn't know what you were getting.
And he's getting rid of his old stock, so to speak.
Well, he was moving stock through. It wasn't just getting rid of old stuff. I mean, it was a lot of the stuff had just come in. He also sold like the bricks of the minis and all that stuff. So there's he was, I mean, he small business, whatever he had to do to survive. He couldn't have people in the store at the time,
right?
Because lockdowns and this and that and the other, and he had to keep the lights on, so to speak. So me and a whole bunch of others jumped in, and I wound up collecting that. I haven't really bought anything from him since I bought my house and moved down here, but I got plenty of stuff to paint still. So, but I do talk to him. I do still check in with him every now and again. I jump in on his Twitch live stream, and now I think he's got he's streaming on YouTube too. So, but yeah. So that's my real shame is I've got all these unpainted minis. So when I say wall of shame, and then boxes of shame, and I've consolidated some of these boxes.
If you get to storage containers of shame, that's where you're really in
yeah. And then this is my mess that I'm trying to organize. Stuff, right? Yeah, that's all my ham radio stuff.
Oh yeah, that's a whole nother nerd topic there.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll get into that someday.
Now, what about this one here? Now, this is, I don't know how well this is going to come over.
Yeah, I don't know about
picture. I was like, what am I going to do with this? But
hey, look at that.
This is the best I could do.
That's my panoramic picture of where I'm sitting right now. So on the and if you actually expanded it, everything's kind of fuzzy because that's just the way those panoramic pictures are that way. But starting at the left, that's my work laptop station stuff. And then it comes around over to here, which is my my station, the 4 monitors you see right now. That's what I'm actually staring at here. So I got a monitor here, 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 and here. Desktop on the right. And then, of course, my ham gear is over to my immediate right, including the mixer that this mic is hooked up to.
And you've got a green screen too, right?
Yeah. I thought about it afterward. I'm like, man, I should have slid the green screen back so you could see the a little workshop area that's also a mess behind me.
Yeah.
But I didn't want Cam to get too excited with tools. So
All right. Okay, that's great.
All right. Did I fill enough time?
You did.
All right.
That's awesome. I still have to go. All right. Thanks for giving us a tour, man.
Yep, thanks.
Anytime.
Talk to you later.
See ya.
Okay, and last but
right, show your books, dork.
It's I didn't show my books. No.
Oh,
I go last. That way I can just get out if I have to. All right, so here's my stuff. So this is just a pretty small. These are my board games. I mean, there's a couple more. There's a bunch of ones with the kids, but I don't consider those my games. The game of life. I don't consider that really a thing. But this is my sort of small collection of the stuff that I kind of like. If it's not good enough for the shelf, it's probably not. You can see I got Eclipse, same as you, Cam.
First edition, you got that right.
First edition, yeah. I like the second edition. It looks cool, and there's some,
there's hegemonic.
Some small problems with the first edition with the glass. The glass cannon ships and stuff, but the expansions take that. I don't have any expansions, but yeah. What were you saying? Sorry.
Quick note on Eclipse. There was a house rule that I insisted on that they incorporated into the new edition. So I was very proud of that.
Yeah, there was the glass cannons?
It was basically had to do with the fact that the computer, you know how you got computers and shields are basically opposing each other, right?
Yeah.
It was that the shields were, I'm trying to remember what it was. The shields were inherently weaker. Basically, it didn't have, so I think they tweaked that as I recall. It's been a while since I've opened that up, but yeah.
Yeah, so I got a couple classics. Fortress America, that's an original.
Old Milton Bradley.
Yeah, I like that. That's always kind of fun. I haven't played that.
I've only played that once, way back in the 80s.
Axis and Allies Europe, because I haven't got an original Axis and Allies. I don't have one.
That's not the new one either. That's the one from the early 90s, maybe.
Yeah, the European. Yeah, the one that's it's kind of it's just the European theater.
Yeah.
And it's not the one that goes together to make two.
Right.
I thought it was when I got it, but I got it at a yard sale for super cheap. So, what else? I've got a fair amount of play out of Star Wars Rebellion. Illuminati, that's an old one that I enjoyed. We got a lot of use out of the Battlestar Galactica. I think that's 2 or 3 expansions.
Yeah, that was a hugely popular game.
We got a lot of use out of that too. I think you got Alien Frontiers, eh?
Yeah, I do. I've got a ton of expansions for it. I got like a package deal on it. A pretty fun game, actually.
I only got the original. I played it with the kids, and it was easy enough that they could learn it.
Yeah, it's a good worker placement game. That's got and if you have the expansions, there's all kinds of different variations you have. So it's one of these games you could play again and again and again and not be exactly the same.
Where's Risk? I've got Risk 2150 AD there, and I think I have the original Risk too, but it's not on this shelf. That's a lot of dice rolling.
Did I ever tell you that one of the proudest moments of my life was winning a Risk tournament in 7th grade?
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
We used to, when I go to visit my grandmother, my older cousins and uncles would always play board games, and when I was a kid. And I remember this where I'd see these things like Risk and stuff. And I remember one time they played Risk, and there was die rolling. There was one of them did a giant attack on Siam trying to get out of Australia or into Australia or something.
Mm-hmm.
And, it was like they lost and they should have won. It was one of those,
Gojira.
I don't, in grade 7, I think you're asking about Cam.
There were in fact tears, and the award for it, which was a hand-drawn dinner plate. I had a weird teacher, an interesting guy, but one of the slogans on there was "Water the earth with their tears." So yes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. Good times.
So, Station Fall is something I picked up fairly recently. We've tried a couple games of that too. I've got all the stuff and miniatures for it, but it's a pretty, it's kind of a pretty relaxed, crazy game of up to like 9 people. So, that's kind of why I picked that up.
I noticed you have Twilight Struggle, the most highly rated, mind-numbingly boring game in the universe.
I don't think it's mind-numbingly boring.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it's all right.
I'd rather play Catan.
Oh, really? Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah. Power Grid.
All right. These are the boxes of cards for Netrunner, which is currently, it was Fantasy Flight LCG. It's out. It's not going anymore, but a bunch of guys picked it up, and they're basically keeping it alive, putting out cards and everything for it. So it's still going. So these are the big boxes are the old cards that are no good anymore. And the small boxes are the new ones.
Did they do a second edition? Did Fantasy Flight do a second edition of this?
No. There's no second edition. What happened was they stopped putting out cards for the game, and this group of players got together. They call themselves Nisei, and they got together. They designed a bunch of cards. They kept the rotation going. They rotated. Right at the present time, all the Fantasy Flight cards are rotated out.
Really?
Yeah.
So how are they doing? Are they just doing like print and play stuff, or?
They were, but now they're big enough that they can do printing. When they put out a thing, they print them. It's not as hard to get them anymore.
The same thing.
Keep it alive.
Were you familiar with the Star Wars CCG that Decipher put out in the 90s?
I know of it. I didn't play it or anything.
They had the same thing there as when they lost the license for it or whatever, because Decipher is a company of insane people. They put out, they had a thing called just Wars, and it was basically, the same mechanics and everything. I don't know how they got the license to use it or permission or whatever, but it's like the game kind of sucked. It was like, this isn't even a good mechanic, you know. It was a real janky kind of thing, and everybody just liked it because it didn't last, obviously. But some people, I guess, thought it would. But...
I'm kind of picky, right?
Yeah.
So I didn't like I'm not a big fan of Magic for the way that they run it. But plus, the game is pretty simple, right? It's like play a land, play a creature, do this, do that, and then try to get build some wombo combo. That's the whole.
Well, if anything, I think the game is degenerated. I think it used to be far more interesting. It is just very boring. This one.
For Netrunner, it's a good theme, and there's enough that you can do that's going on that it keeps it fresh, I think. And there's a bit of bluffing, like poker type bluffing in it. So it's a bit more of more interesting game, I think. And that's why I got sort of hooked on it. I found the other ones that were a little more simpler. And let me just okay. So this is little. You can see there's a lot of cards. Anyway, the new guys running the thing are doing a pretty good job. They're actually, in some ways, they're doing a better job of keeping power creep out of the game. And they're if they find out that some card is like that they designed is not working, they're like, okay, we're going to ban this card. They're quick to ban it so that to try to keep the game, from degenerating. And the art style and stuff they use, it's similar enough. The cards look very similar to what was put out, that level of quality. So they're doing a good job. So I've kept, I thought it was going to die. We thought it was going to die, but we've been keeping up with it because, they did a good job. Still don't play as much as I want to, but here's my games of shame. Notice they're mostly military style. These are the ones I have not got a chance to play yet, and I do want to try them. There's a lot of there's a lot of GMT in there.
This isn't sci-fi.
It isn't sci-fi at all. No, I like military stuff too. I get these are the shame ones. I get to play the military ones like Eclipse and.
Maybe I should send you my Heroes in Normandy.
What's that?
I should send you my Heroes in Normandy stuff.
So I wouldn't play it. I could put it in I got nobody who wants to play military games. You saw on the list I had Squad Leader and Cross of Iron as well. Advanced Squad Leader. I mean, I played those, but those are 30 plus years old, man. I got those originally when I was a teenager. So I got to get these on the table, find somebody who wants to play them. Yeah. And what else? Lastly, I wanted to show this game called Junta. We used to play this. This is a really good beer and pretzels game, right? So it's up to 7 people. It's best with 7 people, and you all become members of a Banana Republic junta. One person, the president, the minister of Interior, the Air Force, Navy, the First Brigade, etc. And what you do is you get money from the UN gives you money every turn, and what you do is you try to steal that money and get it to your Swiss bank account. And the president, some great mechanics. The president gives out the money, so he decides how much to give to everybody, and you can get nothing, and then of course you pay off people enough, and they don't eventually people will get pissed off and like, oh, the president's gonna be able to get more money than me, and the person who has the most money in their Swiss bank account at the end of the game wins. But you can't take your money from your Swiss bank account. Well, you can. You have to bring it out or bring it in, and it takes a turn to do that. So you only have money to bribe people with what's in your hand. But if whatever's in your hand, if you get killed, then that person takes that money, and of course your brother-in-law takes over and you just take your brother. You become your brother-in-law and take his spot. So anyway, it's a quite people trying to coup each other and attack the palace and take over the radio station, and it can be pretty long and pretty tense. You get out the old, you smoke the cigars and put the hats on and talk with a Spanish accent.
Racist.
It can be good fun. Yeah, so I wanted to just highlight that game because, why not? Why not? It's a good little one. done it in a while, but yeah, it can be fun. A liberal version of Monopoly, kind of much more fun. It's a good fun game, and this isn't like a reprint of the original copy. They do have a new version out, which came out a couple years ago. Yeah, it's really fun, and you can get it. Like I got this one because I played the game like years ago, and I was looking for it, can never find it. I just found it in this game shop, just sitting there collecting dust in the corner type of thing. And I'm like, oh, I grabbed it, and of course, a year or two later, they came out with a newer, updated version. But I think the components are a little bit better in the newer version, but I think the game's pretty much the same.
There is
yeah, it's fun. That's why I wanted to highlight it because it's really fun. Like I said, beer and pretzels, have fun with a bunch of guys. Don't winning, losing, just we've had some great things. We had a great game where this one guy, friend of ours, who's he's a bit of a he would do good in PR. He's kind of that, you know what I mean, Cam? He's one of those kind of guys. He's like, hey, how's it going? Like, he's the kind of guy who,
a glad hander
boss and says, hey, how's it going, boss? Hey, come over to my house for dinner. And, like that kind of guy, right? So he was the head of the Air Force, and he was the only, like he's got his airstrikes, and he was there's a big coup going on, and 3 on each side, and he's sort of sitting on the edge, and he's just like going, who's gonna pay me you want me to drop some bombs on someone? Pay me. And we'd pay him, and he'd drop bombs, and then the other guys would pay him, he'd drop a bomb, back and forth like this, right? And so at the end of finally one side won. The end of my side on that one lost, but they won. And at the end of the coup, you get to put one person up against the wall and have him shot, right? And everyone's like, well, they're like, oh, who should we shoot? And I'm like, well, the Air Force guy's the only guy who's got any money. You should shoot him because then you'll get his money. No point in shooting me or anybody else. And they're like, yeah, that's right. He's got a couple $1 million. Let's shoot him. And so they shot him. So it's kind of fitting though, because he was sitting on the fence the whole time. So yeah, good game, lots of fun. I recommend it to anybody. All right, that's pretty much all I put out. I didn't put my 2 shelves worth of science fiction books, but those aren't shameful. I mean, those are great, and I've read pretty much all of them. There's a couple I haven't read yet, but pretty much read every book in my collection, so that's not really shameful. Yeah. What else? That's my main stuff is, of course, science fiction books and some board games. That's mostly it. Yeah.
All right.
All righty. Anything else did I miss?
I was just going to note that he was asking about the Monopoly. There was a socialism Monopoly version, which was kind of a spoof. Yeah,
that would be funny. I would like to see that one.
Yeah, I think I have a copy of it.
Everybody loses.
It was removed quickly. I think it was one of those things like, oops, that was unintentionally accurate.
Everybody loses.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to talk to my kids about communism all the time. They're like, "What? What's communism?" I'm like, "Yeah, nothing. What would happen?" I had a big discussion. What if? Yeah. Anyway, we're starting to learn. Yeah, that's the thing about junta is that it's just all those jokes from like your Banana Republic type, all those stereotypes and all the it's all in there, right? Like. It's just laden with this sarcastic humor and stuff like that,
Yeah, problematic, I understand.
Oh yeah, I mean problematic for sure. It's got like you can get when you're voting, you get in order to vote who gets to be the next president stuff. You draw cards and you'll get trade and get the votes of certain groups, right? Like the church and whatever, all the various groups that you normally find in the unions and stuff like that. You just I just buy their votes and stuff like that. So that's good. All right. Okay, I think that's it for our show, right? What about next week? We don't have a topic for next week. As a child of the '80s, Junta sounds amazing. Yeah, it's great. But try to get you can play with 4, but then you got to you can play with 4 or more. You got to get more. That means some people take 2 roles and stuff, but it's so much better with 7 because the weakest players are the head of the Navy and the head of the Air Force. So the people you don't like, you give them those jobs, right? And then you don't pay them any money, right? You collect the money. You're like, oh, I got this much money. I'm gonna always pick one guy, and you say basically, isolate him and say, I don't give any money to that guy. So he's always been mad, trying to, and he wants to have a coup, right? But nobody follows him because they all got paid, right? And they're like, at least I'm not like Bob. At least I'm not, getting the short end of the stick. He could stick it to me, right? So it's kind of psychological. But yeah, it's usually the Air Force guy because they're actually the weakest. But anyway, yeah, try to give it a try. Yeah, so next week we don't have a topic for next week, do we, Cam? Not yet.
It's a surprise topic.
It's a surprise topic. I don't think we have one. So if anybody wants to suggest a topic, I'll have to think of something. Yeah. And what else? Oh, Babylon 5 is coming up. What on Wednesday? Which episode are we doing? The next one?
Talk about something. I will find it. I forgot the name of
it. something. Yeah. All right.
Episode 8.
Episode 8, I think it is. Yeah. Okay. So tonight we're gonna try the after show. We're gonna go to Cam and I are gonna jump in on the Discord into the voice channel that Jeff just made up, the Speakeasy. We're gonna go there.
A Race Through Dark Places is the name of the episode.
K-pop Demon Hunters. Is that a show suggestion? What will Sony do with the procured rights to Robotech? They got the
ruin it.
Rights to Robotech. Wow.
It's that I ran across some Robotech comics today.
And yeah. Oh, what else is going on? Yeah, that's it. Right, like the Discord. That's about all we got going, I think. Yeah. All right. Did I forget anything, Cam?
No, we just want to make sure we thank everyone in the chat, and especially everyone that shared their walls of shame and their love of nerd stuff that we don't have enough time for.
Yeah, we'll get back to, we'll do more. Yeah, we like to switch up the shows every once in a while, do different stuff. Yeah. Yeah. All right. I think I did forget something, Cam. Pretty sure I did.
Good night, everybody.
You know what I forgot? Jokes.
Jokes.
I've got how many?
Good jokes.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, I got like 8 jokes I could do.
Roll an 8-sided die and choose one.
No. I think I should just do. Let me see. Oh, you'll like this one.
That is a good joke.
No. Let's do this other one first. Okay. Did I tell you that just recently, Cam, I tried donating some my classic board games to a thrift store, but they there was 2 of them I would try to get rid of, but they said they would only take one. I asked them which. I said, well, okay, of these 2, which one do you want? And they said, sorry, we don't want any trouble.
Got it.
Do you know what Canadian's favorite board game is?
No, what's a Canadian's favorite board game?
Sorry.
Okay. Yeah, I'll let that slide.
All right. Okay, this is an actual true story. There was this car accident, and there was a bunch of board games in the middle of the road that like fell out of the car or something, and the Scrabble box had burst open. There were tiles everywhere. It was a case of rectile dysfunction. Get it? A rectile dysfunction. Yeah. Okay. What is the most? What animal is most hated by board game players?
What animal is most hated by board game players? I don't know.
A cheetah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. If there's any children watching, it's time to close their ears because they're getting a little bit. These are the ones that are getting a little bit on the blue side.
Boy.
What is Amber Heard's favorite board game, Cam? Do you know?
Oh, God. No, what is Amber Heard's favorite board game?
Scattergories. Get it? Scat.
Yeah.
She took a crap on Johnny Depp's bed. Get it? Yeah.
And on her career, as it turns out, undone.
That's true. Okay, there's a new board game coming out. I think did you? Oh, you didn't go to Gen Con, but I heard about this one at Gen Con. It's a new board game there where you have to figure out all the players, have to figure out who gave them an STD. It's from Johnson & Johnson. It's called Chlamydia.
Yeah, that's a good one. It's funny because well, my friend that went there, he said he's got some stories, and I'm like, oh boy, because that probably hits closer to home than my home, of course. I'm not one of those weirdos, but there's a lot of nefarious action that happens at these board game conventions, apparently.
Oh, really?
And I'm sure other conventions too, but yeah, there's been quite a bit of controversy about that.
Okay, did you hear about the guy who stole 56 copies of the board game Risk from all these retailers?
No.
Yeah. When they caught him, he said, life is all about taking risks.
Yeah. Yeah. That's great.
All right. Cam.
That was a marathon session there. Yeah.
Cam actually liked a couple of those jokes.
Yeah,
so
one or two.
From now on, we just have to give him more and more, and eventually he'll just laugh because he.
Right. I'll get punch drunk and just start giggling.
That's right. No.
Just wait till the after show, everybody.
All right. Okay, that's it for the show, everybody. Did I miss anything, Cam? I think I got it all.
Thanks for coming, and hey, tell your friends because subscribers are flat as an ironing board right now.
We haven't had any more subscribers. Maybe we're maxed out. I hope not. But we'll see. All right. Yeah, and we'll see you Wednesday and see you at the after show. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Oh, if you can get this closing thing to work. Well, we got a new closing for you, too. A little bit thank you to everybody there. Our lounge lizards. Appreciate you.